Thank you, Keith. So you will have to say you're okay with it being recorded, but like I said, it's only recording me, that it won't show you. All right. Okay, so, all right, let's talk about safety. So safety of your environment, you want to make sure that there's nothing around that you're going to trip over or bump into. And if you're on carpet, you're going to want to make sure that you pick up your feet rather than shuffle, because then sometimes you may, that may trip you up. Number 2 in safety, listen to your bodies. I do not know what you're the one who knows what's going on with your body at any time. So if your body says this is too much, then you sit and you rest. If your body says this is too far in a stretch, then you back off. We want to make sure that that our bodies want to do this again, because if we hurt our bodies, it really isn't excited about continuing. So we want to keep everything nice and gentle, and we also want to rest if we need to, drink water if we need to, yawn if we need to, shake if we need to, whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So for the first half of the class, I do a lot of talking, but I swear we will get to some physical stuff. So here we go. And listening to your body, there is your comfort zone, your safety zone, your warning zone, and the world of pain. So I would like for you to stay in the safety zone. So the comfort zone is when we are not really stretching ourselves, we're just, body's completely relaxed. We want to go to about 70% of our range of motion. We want to gently coax the body into working with us rather than forcing it. So I want you to think of, I'm going to show you what your muscles and your tendons and ligaments are like. So these are your muscles. Your muscles are nice and stretchy. They stretch easily or fairly easily. Whereas your tendons and your ligaments are more like the elastic of a broccoli, when you get broccoli and there's that elastic and it's a little bit tighter and a little bit tougher. So to stretch a muscle, you can stretch a muscle more easily than you can stretch tendons and ligaments. So when we want to open up our joints, we are stretching our tendons and our ligaments. And we want to do that in a slow and consistent manner so that the body doesn't feel that it's in danger at any point. When your body feels that it's in danger, it starts to tighten up. And that's the opposite of what we want to do. We want to have that nice, soft relaxation throughout the body. Okay, what else? All right. How are we doing so far? So far, so good? Everything's making sense? Okay. Okay, let's talk about alignment. So when we are in alignment, in terms of our physical body, we are stacked up. And I'm going to show you. I call him Joe Tai Chi, and hopefully you'll be able to see him. So Joe Tai Chi comes in three pieces: his legs, his middle body, and his head. So when Joe Tai Chi is lined up, he's in good alignment, then, except for when the bottom is not flat, then he has balance, right? But if he starts to get out of alignment, then things start to get a little bit tippier. And the more out of alignment he is, the harder it is for him to stay up without help. So we want to make sure that we are stacking ourselves properly so that we are working with gravity. So this also applies to this direction, right? A lot of us, especially if you spend a lot of time on a phone or a device of some sort, we start to develop this forward motion of the head, and the head weighs a lot. So if it's out here, rather than stacked up on top and supported underneath, you're creating a lot of tension that's not necessary. Does that make sense? So we want to be nice and stacked up. We want our bodies to be nice and stacked up. And that means that our spine is nice and straight. Oh, maybe the wrong shirt to wear. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are working with gravity because we want to be supported underneath. When we're not supported underneath, it makes a certain part of our body feel heavier. So the better we are stacked up, the better the support is. So a couple of things that will affect this are your hips. So if my hips are not level, if I have a tendency to do this, can you see what that does to my line? So I want to have my hips nice and level. I want my shoulders nice and level. I want to make sure that my knees are unlocked, because then the thighs are working, the muscles are working, rather than sometimes we'll sit on our heels and then we'll lock the knees to stay in place. And what happens is it tilts the hips, and you want your tailbone to be pointing down to the ground. Because if you're in this position, then you start to squish the lower back area, and you just want to release that by making sure your knees are always unlocked. You also want to make sure that your head isn't pitched forward, so you want to push your head back so that your ears line up with your shoulders. So far, so good. Yeah. If at any point I say something that doesn't make sense, please let me know. I sometimes see little question bubbles above your head. Go ahead, Roxana.
Hi, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm using my laptop speaker.
Yep.
Now, I have whiplash injuries and a number of other injuries that when I put my neck back, it actually hurts.
Okay.
So what do I do?
So you don't want to force it. So there's a certain range that you'll have. Instead of pushing it back, what I'd like you to think of more is lengthening up. So it's all as though you're being lifted from the top, as though there's a string and it's being pulled upwards and you're lifting up. When you start to feel pain, so there's a difference between soreness and pain. When you feel actual pain, you want to back right off. And again, go only to 70%. We're going to slowly work your way there, especially with neck things. We want to be very careful about how we move.
My neck is, I should change that number.
Yeah. So here's another thing. We're going to start, often we carry our tension in our shoulders and our neck area. I don't know if there's like this, there's this kind of triangle that gets really rock hard if you're stressed. So we want to think of softening. I just want you to plant the seed of the muscles, all the cells, just softening ever so slightly. And that will start to loosen things up. Your mind is really amazing. If you plant the seed and you water that seed, eventually your body will catch up. So just planting the seed that nice and soft. All right, let's talk about relaxation. We're going to talk about the definition of relaxation. In Tai Chi and Qigong, you will often hear the word relaxation. What they're actually talking about, in North America, we think of just, becoming limp. In Tai Chi and Qigong terms, it's a softening of the body. You want your body soft, soft, soft. And then you want this expansion, this expanding from in to out. So your joints open up slightly. And the feeling that we want to have, the feeling that we want to have is like this. we want our body. So remember how I talked about 70%? So 70% is going to be to have some give to it. If I blow up this balloon too much, it gets really hard, and then you let a little bit of air out, and then it's a little bit stretchier, but you don't want it to get so limp that it just kind of collapses. You don't want your body, you don't want to think relaxed. You want to think soft and expanded. So let's do a little exercise so you can feel that in your own body. We're going to have our hands in front, elbows dropped, and thinking of being at 0%, which means, or 25%, which means everything's just kind of limp. Everything is just hanging and limp. And then you're going to slowly expand like your balloon blowing up. So your arms are going to extend forward a little bit. Your fingers are going to lengthen, everything as though you're a balloon, and you're going to expand. And then you're going to expand farther and farther. And at a certain point, you're going to feel your shoulders and arms starting to get hard. And you want to slowly back off from there. So letting a little bit of the air out until you feel a soft springiness, but still have form, still have shape. And we're going to let our shoulders slide downwards, and our shoulder blades are going to slide into our back pockets. So your shoulder blades are the big bones here. You're going to just let them slide down into your back pockets. And you're going to think of your muscles as being soft. And then we're going to go down until everything is really limp. And then we're going to expand again. Taking nice, slow expansion. Your shoulders, everything is still staying soft. And then at a certain point, you start to stiffen up. So you want to back off from that point. So you have this nice springiness, kind of like that balloon. All right, and let your arms rest. Go ahead, Roxana.
You have tips for the pelvis, the calves, and the ankles, feet too?
So when we're standing, so if you're talking about standing in standing pose or standing like a post, there is a meditation
for injuries and injuries and tension.
Okay, so I see what you mean. Okay, so when you are okay, I guess it depends. It depends on all the different injuries. So this is where your mind comes in. Your mind, like I said, your mind is very powerful. So when we are standing, number one, unlock the knees. Make sure the knees are unlocked. You're going to let your tailbone. You're going to imagine as though you have a little weight on your tailbone, and it's just gently pulling down. We don't want to tuck. We want to just think of that tailbone gently pulling down. And we want the legs, the muscles of the legs to be doing the work rather than the muscles of the back. And then, yeah, so engage those legs. Yeah. I don't want you to think engage those legs as in tighten up those legs, but just, you know, the difference between standing with your knees locked and then sinking a little bit. And this over time will strengthen your legs. If you squat ever so slightly and hold it for a while, you will feel it in your thighs after a while.
Good. Yeah, thank you. The tip about the tailbone coming down, that was awesome. So I have 2 points I can focus on.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yes, thanks.
So I'm kind of, yeah, no problem. Okay. So I kind of jumped around a little bit. So yes, so we've talked about the tailbone. So like I said, we don't want to think of tucking the tailbone because when we tuck, we're kind of forcing it. I want you to think more of a weight, just gently pulling down. And then you want to gently lengthen up from the top. And I want you to think of, so this is a slinky. You know when you go to the fair and they have these rides that you have to be a certain height for? And then you see these little kids suddenly grow half an inch. So that's what we're gonna do. But again, 70%. You never want to force. You want to gently think of just being gently lifting up. You just want to make it on that ride. And so you've gently lengthened. And then from there, once you're hooked up at the top, I want you to think everything relaxes downwards. Because you want to still have that. When we think of pushing up, sometimes we'll stiffen up a little bit. So we want to think it's nice and tall. And then we want to think of this softening of the body. And the body, it's like, you know, those skeletons that are hung up and you're just kind of hanging from there. So that makes your lower half of the body nice and heavy. And that's what we want. Let's have a seat. Let's have a seat. That's what we want to have in Tai Chi and Qigong. You want to have a heavy bottom and a light top. When they talk about a light top doesn't, partially it is weight. It's like you're dropping your weight into your legs. And that provides stability, kind of like you want to think of being like a tree. So a tree has these wonderful roots in the ground and it's very steady and heavy on the bottom. And then as you start to go up the tree, it gets softer and lighter until you're, you know, at the leaves and they move really easily. Okay. All right. How are we doing? So far, so good. Okay. I know it's a lot of talking, but I just want to get this out of the way so that when I bring it up in class, we all know what it is that I'm talking about. All right, so we did talk about the tailbone. So remember, don't lock the knees. Relax the tailbone downwards. Use those thighs rather than your lower back muscles. Okay, let's grab a book. Let's grab a book. And all it's for, I wish I was like one of those magicians where you open the book and you point to a word and they can guess what it is. But I'm not.
Oops, there's a mouse.
And all the book is for is to place on the top of your head.
Oh, it was under the carpet.
And some of us are blessed with flat-topped heads, so you don't have to work as hard. Some of us with pointier heads. And I want you to feel how the level of your gaze is, and also how you can feel almost as though you're pushing upwards a little bit to support the book. Oh, everybody's really good at this. Great. Okay. So feel the book on the surface of the head. And then we're going to take the book away, but we're going to imagine it's still there. And we still have that nice long neck. We still have that slightly pushing up feeling. And I want you to imagine you have a fish bowl completely with fish and water on the top of your head. And you're supporting that with your head. From there, we're going to think of softening. Just plant the seed of softening the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, and into the shoulders. And we're going to take a nice sigh, inhale. And exhale. We're going to relax the tongue and the jaw as we exhale. This time we're going to inhale and puff the cheeks. And exhale, I'll show you what it looks like. Inhale, puff the cheeks. Exhale. So when we exhale, we don't push the air out. We just kind of deflate like a blow up mattress when you pull out the plug and it just kind of. So that feeling, I want you to feel it all through your neck and the back of the neck. So here we go. Inhale, puff the cheeks and puff it so that it feels a little bit stretched. Inhale, puff the cheeks. Exhale. And feel that release throughout the shoulders and the chest. We'll do that again. Good, nice inhale. Puff the cheeks. Exhale. Relax the tongue and the jaw. Good, good. All right. So I learned that little trick from not a hypnotist. Oh, wait. It might have been from a hypnotherapist. Yes, I think it was. So this is a really good way, especially if you don't have a chance to get up and move around. It's a good way to release a little bit of tension. And when you think of that release happening through the cheeks and the jaw and the shoulders and the neck. All right, so now we're going to do a little isolation game where we are going to turn different parts of our body. And this will be helpful to remember I call this the Tai Chi pole. And with the Tai Chi pole, we're always thinking of moving along this axis. So when we rotate along this axis. We don't tip or any of that kind of stuff. We just think kind of like the head of an owl, and the head turns. And there's a gentle stretch. And we turn to center. And we think soft shoulders. So let your shoulders get nice and soft and heavy. And turn to the other side. And center. And your tongue and your jaw and your throat start to soften up. And center. And the back of the head relaxes. Gentle stretch and melting the shoulders. Another side. And center. And we're going to inhale as we go out. And we're going to exhale, melt the shoulders as we exhale, coming back to center. And again, inhale. And exhale, coming back to center. We're going to feel the inside of our nostrils as we inhale. And exhale. And inhale, feeling the cool air on the inside of your nostrils. And exhale, melting the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Keeping the shoulders nice and soft and heavy. Gently lengthen the neck. Remember that feeling of supporting the book on your head. So the shoulders are down and the neck is soft and lengthened. Good. All right. I apologize. I have been moving around a lot in what I've been saying, but it will eventually, after 10 days, hopefully it'll all make sense to you. All right. So now we're going to turn, remembering our Tai Chi pole right down the center of the body. We're going to turn the shoulders. We're going to turn the upper body, and we're going to use our shoulders to help us. On one side, another side. And always remembering we're keeping it nice and gentle. We don't want to freak the body out. Another side.
Kelly,
Go ahead.
when you're turning your shoulders, are you keeping your head straight?
Yeah,
Or
so
you-
your head goes with your
neck.
chest. Yeah.
Okay.
So, it can actually, if you would like, you can turn your shoulders and then turn the head a little bit more if you'd like. but not really necessary. In this one, we can just turn the whole thing as one piece, the whole upper body is one piece. So now we know.
Is your waist moving as well?
Your waist will be turning, but you're not turning with your waist yet. So that's actually what I'm getting to next. So right now we're using the shoulders to turn, right?
Yeah.
So there's that stretch. So that's great for a stretch, but we want to, so for this next piece, I'd like for you to turn your body, but without your shoulders. Well, your shoulders will go along for the ride, but they're not pulling at all. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning from the middle of the body. And one thing that I found helpful is to think of a marker in your belly button, and you're thinking of drawing a line with that marker. And that helps you bring the focus down to your middle body, keep your shoulders completely relaxed. And you may notice that your range of motion isn't quite as big, because it's just your waist rather than your shoulders going stretch and stretch. It's just your waist. So we want to start to get really comfortable with our waist, because it exercises when you really use your waist. And it doesn't have to be a big movement, just from side to side. You start to strengthen the muscles along the spine that support your spine. Remember, we want to think of tailbone pointing down to the ground. So even if you're sitting, check, is your lower back open? So I'm just going to talk about open and closed. So if your lower back is open, that means it's open rather than closed. So check, is your tailbone dropped down? Is your lower back open and released? Or is it holding? So for those of you who may have some lower back issues, check, do you tend to lock your knees? Remember, only go to 70%, keep it gentle. Over time, when you slowly coax your body somewhere, it has a tendency to hold it better than if you just try to force it there. And over time, your body will change. And most people, usually by day 3 or 4, start to notice differences overall. Okay, so now we've turned with our middle body. Now what I'd like for you to do is come a little closer to the edge of the seat so that your feet are flat on the ground. And then I want you to push into the ground. I want you to push into the ground with one foot and turn and see if that makes any difference. When you push a little bit and turn. Rather than, so see what the difference is between turning with just the waist, or if you anchor yourself with the foot and then turn, you use the waist to turn. Do we notice any difference between the two when you anchor the foot and you turn rather than, yeah. So we want to be connected to our feet. There's a lot of power in our feet and our legs. And we want to have that connection of the whole body, not moving just the upper body, but starting from the feet and then using that to help us. All right. Okay. So we've talked about, so we've talked about relaxation in terms of the softness of the body and the stretchiness and the expansion. So it's relaxed, not as in limp, but relaxed as in soft and expanded, gently expanded. So we're thinking of a balloon, that same feeling. You want to feel that nice springiness and not that the tension of an overinflated balloon. Okay. When you breathe, I would like you to breathe like you're breathing on the 5th day of your vacation. So if your vacation is 7 days long, you've been there for 5 days, you're feeling pretty good. You still have a couple of days left. You're not stressed out about your life that you're having to go back to. You have that nice relaxed feeling in the body. So it's also the feeling that you get when you walk into a coffee shop or a bakery or somewhere that's cooking something really good that you love, and you walk in and you think, oh my gosh. That's how we want to breathe. We want the whole body to be soft and relaxed. They talk about natural breath. Natural breath doesn't necessarily refer to deep breathing. It refers to breathing like your spouse is breathing when they are snoring. And you're staring at them wanting to kill them because they are lying there so relaxed and their whole body is just going, and they're, breathing in, and the whole body is soft and stretchy because it's like, I don't know if you've ever tried to blow up a balloon that's very tight and you and your ears want to pop because it's so hard, versus one of those nice stretchy balloons and you blow into it and it's nice and soft and flexible and opens. That's how we want our bodies to be. So just to prove a point, we're going to tighten up the body. So we're going to squeeze, and then we're going to take a nice big breath. And then we're going to release. And now we're going to relax the body, and we're going to take a nice big breath. So did we notice the difference between a tight body and a relaxed body in terms of your breath? If your body is relaxed, you're going to be able to breathe better. And oxygen is very important. So you want to breathe well. Okay. So nice, soft, stretchy bodies. That's what I want you to think of. In everything that we do, nice, soft, stretchy bodies. And if your body is a little bit stiff, it's, there are going to be days when maybe you slept wrong or whatever. And you don't worry about those days. This is it's a process to get our bodies to where we want it to be. We've developed a lot of habits that may not be serving us. So what we're trying to do is establish better habits for the body. Okay. So my next point is we are not looking for perfection. We are looking for improvement. Don't worry about being perfect. And don't worry about, if you're doing, we do this movement where we're all looking in this direction. And if you end up looking in this direction, you go, ha, 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 and move to the other side, and you don't worry about it. Don't worry about making mistakes, because that's, we may look a little funny at times as we're learning, because we're learning. And it's in the same way that toddlers kind of look funny when they're learning to walk. And then over time, then their body gets used to it, and then they walk like everybody else. So never worry about making mistakes. Sometimes mistakes are the best way to learn something really deeply. And another one of my favorite words is meh. You don't worry about it. There's nothing serious going on here. We are here, we're just having fun and improving our bodies. Okay. So here's another thing. I'll often say, let your energy settle. And I want you to think of this. So when you look at this, what's the first thing that you notice? Let's shake it up. Okay. So what do you see? What's the first thing that you notice when you look at a snow globe?
The movement, the swirl, the movement.
Yeah, the swirl and the movement and the snow all over the place. It's kind of like your thoughts, right? And then when the snow settles, so when I say, allow your energy to settle, this is what I'm looking for. Your energy to just slowly sink down. And you notice how suddenly things start to get clearer. And then you can notice there's I don't know if it's a dog or a reindeer, trees in the background, but it's hard to see all those things when you've got this going on, right? Same thing in life. When our thoughts are all over the place and meddling in other people's business and all over the place, it's really hard to be clear. So we want to let our energy settle so that we can see clearly. All right, let's get on our feet. No more talking, let's do. Doing is all. Okay. So we're going to start with our salute, remembering that I am your mirror image. So this is your right side. Right side. Our mirror image. We're going to start with our feet together. Our right hand makes a fist with the thumbs crossing the top. Our left hand covers on top. Our elbows are level. Our shoulders are dropped. Nice. And notice if you're holding or if you're soft and stretchy. Your thumb covers the fist eye. And great, wonderful. Okay, so let's start with our feet shoulder distance apart. So your chi runs through your body, and there are different things that can cause it to get stuck. Physical trauma, emotional trauma, daily life. So what we're doing right now, Qigong is a wonderful way. It's kind of like energetic hygiene. So in the same way that we wash our dishes every day, we want to clear out our energy every day. We can pick up energy from other people or places or things or whatever. So we want to have this nice, we want to have our own energy be the dominant energy. So we're going to start by patting down the inside of the arm and up the outside. This not only gets the energy going, but there are fluids in your body. So there's a fluid called lymph that relies on physical movement to move your body. Down the inside, up the outside. Now we're going to do the chest. And we're going to soften the shoulders and the back of the neck. And we're going to do a nice inhale and exhale. Down the other side. And that's the other side. And chest. We're going to gently lengthen the back of the neck and soften the shoulders downwards and a nice sigh. We're going to go down the legs and up the inside, just to wherever is comfortable. You don't necessarily have to go down. So if there's a movement that you're a little limited by, you can just do it with your mind. So I can be here and think going down the legs, coming up the legs. I don't necessarily have to bend over. It's whatever is comfortable. One side. Now we're going to go into the hip creases. We're going to soften the shoulders and gently lengthen the neck. We're going to come up to the liver and the spleen. So your liver is on your right hand side and your spleen is on your left, covered by the ribs. And you're going to keep your neck long. So you're not going to bring your shoulders up. You're going to drop the shoulders. We're going to go for the kidneys in the back. And we're going to check our knees and make sure they're not locked.
My bugaboo.
And the buttocks. And the chest again. And we're going to inhale and sigh. Again, this time you're in a bakery and you're smelling something really good, or I'm gluten-free, so a gluten-free bakery. So whatever it is that you like to smell, nice soft breath. Inhale and exhale and sweep. Exhale and flick. So like you're throwing any tension into the ground. Just throw that away. Good. Good. We're going to do some jazz hands. So rotating, keeping the shoulders nice and soft. And we're going to inhale as we go up. Exhale, melt the shoulders down. Soft, soft shoulders. Inhale, going up. Exhale, going down. Inhale, going up. Nice long arms floating down. We're going to cross the arms in the front, nice long neck. We're going to pivot on the elbows like a windshield wiper. And inhale, going up. And exhale, coming down. Inhale, going up. Exhale, melt the shoulders down. Inhale, going up. Long arms floating down. Crossing the opposite arm in the front. If you can't remember which, doesn't really matter. And nice long neck and open. And inhale, going up. And exhale, coming down. Relaxing the tongue and the jaw. And inhale, going up. Exhale, going down. Relaxing the heart. Inhale, going up. Long arms floating down. And we're going to roll the shoulders forward or back, doesn't matter which, we're going to do both. And we want it to be nice and slow, and we want to think as though we've just oiled the joint and you're moving the oil around the joint. You're lubricating those shoulders. Good, and opposite direction. Good. We're going to circle the hips. And as we do this, we're thinking everything is soft. So that lower back is opening up gently. And opposite direction. And the chest is relaxing. And soft. Good. We're going to angle the foot to the corner and be in clean alignment. So your toes, your hips, your shoulders all face the corner. Your head is going to look towards the screen, and we're going to go heel ball of the foot. And we're going to check our hips. We're going to check if we're tilting. We're tilting. We are going to have nice level hips because that affects my Tai Chi pole. And other side, we're going to have nice clean alignment. Settle into the foot, unlock the knee, and heel ball of the foot. And soften the shoulders, lengthen the back of the neck. Nice. Good. And other side. Clean alignment. This time we're going to go big toe, little toe. And other side. We're going to think of our fishbowl balanced on the top of the head. So we're supporting that fishbowl, dropping those shoulders.
Water's gone.
Dory! And other side. We're going to keep our hips nice and level. We're going to isolate the leg and lift just the leg. So notice the rest of my body doesn't move. Another side. And this exercise is really about just making the one leg and foot work. Good, and we're going to shake.
One more.
Yeah.
All right. So as we practice this, so now I have people doing lift a leg, extend the leg, bring it back and down. So that takes a little bit of time, right? Because you want to build the muscles, you want to build that sense of balance and sense of alignment, and that comes over time. But so this may be another thing that you want to put on your list of where you are from 0 to 10 is your balance. Your actual physical balance. All right, so let's take a look at the first movement. I'm going to do the movement and then we will walk and talk through it. And how is everybody for time? Does anybody need to leave right at 1:30? I apologize. I may go a little over. Okay. All right. So I'll show you the movement first, remembering that I am your mirror image. So this is your right side. So we're going to be opening to the left side, but I'll show you. This is just the opening movement. This is how we start. And then this is movement number 1. We do each of the movements 6 times. So this is movement number 1. All right, let's talk a little bit about the legs. When we open out, we want to remember that whole thing of alignment. So there's a difference between peeling the foot up, being completely aligned over that foot, so have control over the foot going out, and then centering the weight. I want to make sure I don't transfer my weight too quickly, because if I do, what happens is I land, I become heavy. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put the foot out, and then I want to push the weight over and engage both feet. So both feet feel slightly pressed into the ground, almost like you've got suction cups on the bottom of your feet and you're gently pressing both the suction cups down. And that'll make you feel like you're stuck to the ground, like you're Velcroed. So we start with our feet together. We soften the knees. We peel the left foot up and place it out. We place it first, and then we transfer the weight. So by pushing into this foot, and then we come to about shoulder distance. And then we sit. When we sit, we are mindful of where our knees are. We don't want our knees tilted inwards. We want them aligned with the toes. And also making sure, anytime we go into a squat, make sure your knees don't go past your toes, because that's going to stress the knee. So you want to make sure that instead of pushing forward, that you're sitting back. Almost like you're going to go to sit in a chair and you want to keep your knee behind your toe to keep your knees safe. Because that puts a lot of pressure on the knee otherwise. So starting with your feet together, we're going to sink the weight into the right foot, soften the knees, nice long neck, peel the left foot up, place it out, touch, and then push the weight to the center. Good. The arms are going to nice and long, lengthened arms, palms face the back, and then they're going to turn, rotate inwards, and you're going to sit and hug a tree. Remember when we did that balloon exercise earlier? We're looking for that nice, expanded, but soft feeling. So we're not here, we're here. And our shoulders are dropped and our elbows are below our wrists. Because if you lift the elbows, the shoulders go up. So you want to make sure the elbows are angled downwards. Hands are going to come down. Loosely link the fingers. You're going to push into the legs like you've got a 50-pound weight on your shoulders and you're using your legs to come up. And then keep your neck long as the hands start to come up. Flip the hands. Look up at the hands. They'll be slightly ahead of you. Then look forward as you bring the arms by your ears. Sink the shoulders. Open, nice long arms floating down. And then the knees start to bend. Feel the weight sinking into your legs. And there's a little bit of a knee bend. So I'm about here, and I push into the legs. I keep my neck long, my hands float up. Flip the hands, the gaze goes up. Looks at the hands. Look forward, bring your arms by your ears. There's a slight stretch.
Your
here.
hands go like this.
Release.
And when she says flip your hands,
Oh,
flip them up, flip them up the other way.
Yeah.
And again, knees are slightly bent here, so there's this constant pumping of the legs. So we push into the ground, shoulders are soft, hands float up. Flip the hands over, look up at the hands, look forward, bring your arms by your ears, sink the shoulders, and float the arms down. Knees bend and sinking. We'll do that one more time. Push into the ground. It comes up. Flip the hands. Look up at the hands. There's a gentle stretch at the top, and then soften the knees and flip the arms down. Soft. Good. Good. We're going to go in the opposite direction. We're going to take a nice inhale, thinking soft, stretchy bodies. Exhale, soften the knees, sink the tailbone, mount the shoulders, feel those shoulders sink down. And a nice inhale, thinking soft, stretchy bodies, gentle expansion, and slow release. And again, a nice inhale, soft, stretchy bodies. And exhale. Good. All right. How's everybody doing?
Great.
So that is move number 1. We will be going through 8 movements in total. Tomorrow we'll start move number 2. We do have a video for move number 2 because the arms are, a little bit more challenging. So for the more challenging moves, we do have videos right now, and hopefully this recording of this class will work out. All right, any questions?
I'm sorry if I missed it, but what is the name of that move?
Oh, so that one is
doesn't-
lifting the sky. Or actually,
Number 1.
the resources page. And in the resources page, it has a list of all the official names of the moves, as well as what it addresses in the body. Yeah, we'll be sending that out probably today. Yeah, maybe today. So lifting the sky. Yeah, and actually, if all you learn is this one movement, so this kind of you have different sections of your energy, and this just kind of brings it throughout the whole body. It's a really good one. Even
Can
if
you
you do
hear me?
minutes a day. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Oh, thanks. I wasn't sure if my microphone was working, but I have taken just a very brief Tai Chi class.
Mhm.
These movements, are they the same or?
No, so there are thousands.
I just remember doing this.
Something similar.
Yeah,
Lifting.
but it's probably different.
So they might have used it. I practice Yang family and Yang style.
They're young family too.
It is Yang
Yeah.
family. Okay, so I can't think of any particular movement that does that. It might have been
Okay.
during a warm up. But
That's
this is
very possible. Yes.
right. So this is a very there are different variations on the same movement, but this is a pretty standard Qigong move. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are so many different. It's kind of like food. There are so many different styles of food, flavors of food, but it's all food.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So just to finish off, any other questions? Okay, so just to finish off the class, we're going to tap the thighs. And then we're going to drag our fingertips through the sand. And then we're gonna inhale and squeeze and go up onto the balls of our feet. And then we're gonna relax as we release. Yeah, we're just gonna release by letting the hands drop and drag your fingertips through the sand and inhale and squeeze. Whole body and then slowly release. Good, and drag your fingertips through the sand. And inhale and squeeze. And exhale. Release. Good. Taking soft, stretchy bodies. Inhale, soft expansion. And exhale, melt the shoulders, relax the belly. Sinking. And again, nice inhale. Lengthen the neck. And exhale. Sink the tailbone. Feet, knees bend slightly. And again, pushing into the ground and lengthen. And exhale, melt the shoulders. Good. All right, feet together, nice long neck. Your right hand in a fist, I'm your mirror image. And thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. So we'll meet same place, same time tomorrow. If you could take the time right now, so earlier in the class, we had written down where we were on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. If you want to just jot down where you are, just so you can keep track. Like I said, this is for you, because I don't want you to do it just because I'm telling you how wonderful it is and you read about how wonderful it is, although Harvard does say it's pretty wonderful. But in any case, I don't want you to take my word for it. I think that personal experience is far more powerful. Yeah. All right. Any questions before we close the class? Okay. So normally we allow up to 15 people in the class, and there will be a few more people joining us later. But if you have a friend who you think might enjoy this, please let them know, because if they start to after tomorrow, will be too far in. It'll be too confusing for them to follow. But if you know anybody who might want to join us, please do share. There's nothing like, so for me, Qigong and Tai Chi, sorry, my phone keeps buzzing. So I'm just gonna, I feel like just kicking it out the window. Qigong and Tai Chi is kind of like singing. It's beautiful to sing on your own and it's fun to sing on your own. But when you sing in a choir, I don't sing in a choir, but I've heard choirs and, like you get the little goosebumps on your, there is something about being with others as you practice. And I would love for, at some point, for every part to have people just practicing, just, enjoying themselves together. Yeah. All right. Well, any last questions?
Thank you.
Okay, well, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you drink some. Oh, so I had talked about having water. Water is for your fascia. We'll talk about fascia a little bit tomorrow, but drink water for your fascia, and I'll tell you why it's good for you tomorrow. just trust me on this one.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. That was great. Enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day. See you tomorrow.
All right.